You can also think of a closure to be an extended scope. What does it mean? So we'll try to take a look at one function known as first, and we can see the hierarchy. Inside function first, we have a variable 1 and another function second, and we are calling the function second here. Inside second, we have another variable 2 and third, and 3 and fourth. And at last, here we are saying console log 1, 2, 3, 4. We are calling all the functions like first, second, third, and fourth. So this is an example of multiple chain of scope. Later on, we'll see an example of closure and we'll try to compare them. So let's just go on to the first one. So here when we are calling the function, we'll start from the top, that is first. And you can think of this first to be the biggest circle. The name of the circle is going to be first, and the value inside circle first is 1 and another function second. I have a variable 1 and the value is 1 right now. Moving on to the next one, we have another function and we are calling this function here, so we'll create another circle. This circle, it has a name of second and the variable inside it is 2 with a value of 2. Similarly, we'll go inside and we'll create another function 3, another function third, and the value inside it is 3. Moving on inside again. So here we have another last function that is fourth. The name of this function is going to be fourth and the variable inside it is 4 with the value of 4. Here we are trying to access all these different variables 1, 2, 3 and 4. So first of all, I'm looking for the value 1. So I'll try to look for that value inside the scope of fourth here. I will not find it. And because I could not find it, I'll bubble out. Even here, I can only find 3. So I'll bubble out again. I'll not find it here again. So I'll bubble out. I'll get the value 1 from here. And in that way, in our output, we'll see the value 1. Okay. Now moving on to the next one, that is the variable name 2. So I'm looking for a variable name 2. I'll look for this around the fourth scope. I'll not find it. I'll bubble out. Here I can only find 3. I'll bubble out again. I'll find 2. And because of that, I'll see the output 2. The same case will happen with the next, that is 3. I'll try to look for that value. I'll not find it. I'll move outside and here I can find the value 3. I'll log the value 3. And at last, I'll look for the variable 4. And inside 4, I'm looking for that value. I can find the variable here itself. So I'll just go ahead and log 4. So here you can see the kind of structure is created here. It's one inside another, and we understand that you cannot go inside, but if something is inside, you can come outside. And this is a rule of scope, right? And this is how scope works. So if we try to compare this with this example here, that here we are calling the function outer. So obviously outer will create another circle here. So moving on to outer, as soon as we execute it, we'll create a circle right here. Inside this function, we have two variables, count and username. I'll go ahead and create two variable, count is equal to 0 and username is equal to Sam. Inside that we have another function and this function got returned. But actually what happened, whenever the function gets returned from another function, this function also carries the environment. So next function will have a different scope right here. So this is a different scope. So this one is the scope of outer and this one is the scope of next. Inside the next function right here, we are going to use two variables, that is username and count. So here, whenever you're looking for a variable username you could not find inside this scope, you will bubble out to look for that variable. Even if these values, count and username, is in the closure of this next function, it feels like it is very, very similar to scope, right? Because if I'm looking for the variable username, I'm not able to find it. I'll bubble out to look for that variable. And in that way, I will be able to find that. That is what I mean when I say you can also think of closer to be an extended scope. So even if here you can think about this function is carrying some values in their closure, and when you are accessing them, you are not able to find it. It will go bubble out looking for that variable inside another scope, and this closure is acting like a scope here. So that's why you can think of closure to be just an extended scope to the function that is returned from another function. So in this way, we just try to understand this statement that you can also think of closure to be an extended scope. So this is our extended scope that is present in our next function. And when this special scope is created, whenever you return a function from another function,